Hello, my name is Caitlin Beige. I'm Content and Student Engagement Manager at BMES and moderator for today's session. Thank you for joining part two of the Student Chapter Excellence Insights from Award-Winning Teams webinar. Throughout the webinar, feel free to submit any questions you have in the Q&A box, and we'll make sure to address them at the end of the session. I'm here with University of California, Los Angeles Outstanding Achievement Award winner, University of California, Riverside Outreach Award winner, and Colorado State University Chapter Industry Award winner. So let's go ahead and get started. Can each of you briefly introduce yourself and describe your chapter's journey to receiving your award?
My name's Elisa Bosaldua. I'm a fourth year biomedical and mechanical engineering student. And um, throughout our journey on receiving this award, it was quite a process. We do have multiple officer teams and we do have an industry officer. And when we go through elections starting in April, we're very cognitive on who we choose, especially, for this specific officer position. And we start seeking out like the officers, from the start of the year, who's most involved in the program and, someone that we believe that can dedicate their time over the summer and going into the fall semester. So throughout the journey, it's been, we have to be really careful on who we do choose because you are required to start your officer position early May, and this requires a lot of trust and building up into our Bio Innovate Award or our Bio Innovate event. We do have it's a mini career fair that we have just for biotech companies, and this we start reaching out to companies at the beginning of the summer, and we're very cognitive and we're very repetitive on the companies that we do reach out to, making sure that they are able to come out. And so it's been a great journey. I've been a part of this team for over a year now, and just working with people and um learning these professional skills and communicating with these biotech companies have been great. And yeah, thank you.
Hello, I'm Samantha. I am a fourth year bioengineering major here at University of California, Riverside, or UCR. For our process in general, we like to start early summer where we get the incoming freshmen and transfers and we table out for them. And then that we meet the community that way because sometimes for summer it's their orientation and we start looking into like their families and sometimes they have their siblings with them and we start engaging with them as well to talk to them about BMES and the impact they have. And throughout the year, we work closely with our MESA advisors here on campus and they send us out information to schools that are looking for STEM outreach, and we just present all sorts of bioengineering to them in many forms, from Arduinos to presentations or even Q&A sessions. And then we do our own outreach event here at the College of Engineering, where we just bring out families on a weekend, and then we just do little activities with them and just really promote the engagement of bioengineering to them. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Audrey. I'm the UCLA chapter president right now, and we won the Outstanding Chapter Achievement Award. And I think what really helped us to get this award is that we really focused on all four aspects of our club. We focused on mentorship, professional development, as well as community outreach and single one and technical projects. So we have these four sectors of our club, and our board is pretty massive. We have 40 members of our board, but all of us, we work like a machine to make things run, and we make sure to support each other throughout all of these events. For UCLA, since we are on a quarter system, we actually elect our board members the spring quarter before the school year actually begins. And similarly to what Alyssa and Samantha have said, we really look for people who are committed and passionate about UCLA BMES's mission to help students gain these kinds of resources that they may not have been able to achieve otherwise. And I think that we've been able to truly encapsulate a really excellent community for these bioengineering students and help give them opportunities that the school may not have given them otherwise.
Thank you so much for your introductions. So we're gonna break it down by award now. So starting with the chapter industry pro programming award. Sorry, it's a bit of a tongue twister right there. What advice would you give other chapters looking to strengthen their industry relationship and incorporate more industry-focused initiatives in their programming?
Yeah, so I would say the main thing that I feel like helped us as a chapter is starting early. Like I had mentioned before, we start recruiting out to companies in early summer, and we do have our industry director sign a contract saying that they will work on this over the summer because we have our main industry event coming late September. And so if you start reaching out to, companies in August, it's, the chances of them coming are very low versus if you were to start early. So my main advice would be, start as early as possible. Once you get that new officer team in, have that transition period and have your current industry director work with your new industry director, teach them what helped, what didn't help. We have a little monkey books, and so we give those monkey books to our new officers, and it's just little tips on things that we did during our year of during our position, and things that we enjoyed and things that we didn't like, or things that we would change, just to keep, prevent, the same strategy that didn't work happening from over and over again, and you're able to progress from where it is that you left off. um that would be my main advice. And again, reaching out and being persistent, reaching out to local companies, companies on the city over, we do have a lot of semis. Thankfully, we're close to Denver, and so we do have a lot of biotech companies down there. And we are constantly emailing them. Our industry officer, is her job is to make sure that we are having these events and that they are coming. So having that designated officer to follow up with all of those emails and manage the scheduling is very important, and it keeps it organized. And we do have a lot of industry events throughout the semester. And so having that point of contact for an industry, for example, if we want to get in contact with Stryker, we know who to contact, and we contact that same person every single time. And if they, if they switch positions, then they give us the new point of contact, to reach out to when we do want to have that industry event. We always have Stryker. We have 3D Systems coming next week. We have Medtronic, and we have a bunch of different Terumo companies that do come in, and we build that relationship with the company from early on. So if we do want to have an industry spotlight, we know who to go to. And, it's a very easier form of setup versus if we're just, trying to reach out for someone new and trying to start an event within that month or in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So, when it came time for the chapter development reports, how did you showcase your industry partnerships, and what strategies did you use to effectively convey the value of those relationships?
I would say loyalty. We do have sponsors, and with those sponsors, we are able to have those consistent industry spotlights. And again, having that point of contact, reaching out to the same person and communicating with them throughout the whole year versus just one or two times in the academic year is very important. It shows persistence, and it shows that, you're wanting your club to be engaged. When it came to doing the CDR, we because we have so many industry events, we have probably at least two a month, more or less. We do have a lot of industry events throughout the year, which made us stood out even more because we do have those connections with various companies. So, and we do start our CDR fairly early. We document everything that we do, um, from the start of the semester. That way we don't forget anything or lose an important information from a certain event. And so after the fall semester, we, we write a mini CDR, writing it at one time, which I believe was pretty beneficial for us.
Thank you. And I'm so sorry. It seemed on my end you cut out a bit. I don't know if that was the same for anyone else, but I think your audio was still coming through. You just kind of were frozen a little bit. But thank you so much. That was really
Okay.
good feedback. Um, so switching gears to our outreach award. Samantha, how did your outreach initiatives foster long-term relationships and what impact did this have on your chapter's growth?
It's fostered a really good relationship with at least our MESA program here at UCR because we now always contact them if they need like speakers or volunteers at events. So we do try to go out and at least show ourselves to help the community out with the younger kids, so K through 12 mostly. So we try to foster a relationship with them in our community. So they always come back to UCR and see our events. And most through that as well, we try to contact the same schools with the same teachers, asking them if they ever need speakers or if we are okay to go into their classrooms and give a little presentation or demonstration. And it's also helped me reconnect my relationships from high school since I'm a native to the IE, the Inland Empire. So I always contact my high school engineering teachers of like, hey, are you okay with us attending? Sometimes the days conflict, but we always try to reach out at least get that conversation starting and have them always have us at the back of their mind. So they always are willing to for us to go back. So we try to develop those relationships. And we also have a great relationship with a student success team here at our College of Engineering. So when other student orgs need volunteers, our organization goes and helps and at least tries to engage in STEM activities with them. It's not just about bioengineering, but we do like to emphasize that a little bit more since it is our organization. Yeah.
Awesome. So in preparing your chapter development reports, how did you effectively communicate the impact that these events had?
We try to effectively do that by always our secretary is makes a form where we whoever attends the event puts their impact of what they felt like we impacted, and then we always during our officer meetings always ask whoever else was there like, oh, what did you think about the event? So we always try to communicate that impact, or sometimes we even ask the kids like, oh, what did you like? What didn't you like? And some of these kids can be brutally honest to you and like, oh, it's kind of all right. Like, I wish we'd done a little bit more, but they are really nice about it sometimes. Like I've met some juniors throughout our events. They're like, oh, I really like that you did this because I've never done this before. So and sometimes with presentations, we try to reward them. We're like, oh, do you want a sticker if you ask a question? And you get more questions. But that's how we effectively communicate it, where we see like how the kids took it and as well as like what we did for the community. So
Thank you so much. Now switching gears finally to UCLA, our Outstanding Achievement Award. Can you walk us through the decision-making process behind some of the most successful programs your chapter developed?
So I'd say one of our really successful programs, UCLA Bioengineering has a program called Industry Advisory Board, and these are members of industry who are local to Los Angeles or they are UCLA alumni, and it's connected to us with various biotech companies like Medtronic and also some startups in the area as well. Um, so what we've actually done is that they've been really encouraging to helping us start this mentorship program that we've collaborated with them on. And this essentially connects industry professionals with BMES students here at UCLA. And these professionals, they have decades of experience behind them. So they can help people with their resumes, they can help people with interviews and give them referrals to their company as well. So that's been something that's pretty successful. And we only piloted that 2 years ago. And so as of right now, it's been 2 years in the making and it's been going pretty well. Another one of our really successful programs is our community outreach. Um, we have a program where a lot of our BMES students will go out every other week to one of the local underfunded Los Angeles middle schools. we teach them how to do 3D design. We teach them about coding and circuitry, which are all essential bioengineering concepts. And our hope is that we can get them really interested in engineering early on. And maybe someday they'll want to go to UCLA one day for bioengineering as well. And we also, in kind of in conjunction with that, we host science days, which are every quarter. And we also reach out to an underfunded elementary or middle school that's located in the Los Angeles area, and they'll come to UCLA for half a day and we'll teach them an engineering project. We'll take them to the planetarium and we'll also give them a tour of the school. So these kinds of programs that we do, they definitely take a lot of grunt work from our board, but everyone on our board is really passionate and excited about this. I think that one of the main decision-making processes about this is just careful planning. We really need to be able to communicate with the school, especially the funding sources that UCLA provides. We try not to take everything from our own funds, but we'll try to do external funds that UCLA provides. So we'll do a funding application for that, and we'll hopefully get a couple $100 that can help support some of the programs that we run. And I think one of our other really successful programs is our technical projects program. So I think UCLA is one of the only BMES chapters who does fully student run and funded projects. So we have a build team and a cell team, which is introductory, dry, and wet lab respectively. And we also have design team and research team, which is advanced, dry, and wet lab respectively. And we have to collect a lot of money for these programs. So early on, when in the summer, our project managers, they'll work together to get their ideas sorted for the projects that they want to run. And then by the fall, we actually do a really big presentation to some of our engineering alumni from UCLA, and that essentially helps us collect donations from them. And we're able to collect a couple $1,000s every year to run these projects. So it's just a lot of careful planning, but a lot of dedication from our board members as well.
Thank you. And in creating the chapter development reports, what do you feel were some of the standout strategies that you think helped effectively communicate all of those programs you have running?
Yeah, so I think similar to what Alyssa and Samantha do, we create a really big Excel spreadsheet, and I encourage board members to put in all of the details of their event right after their event happens. I try to ask them to do it within like 2 or 3 weeks of the event happening so that it's still really fresh in their minds and they remember everything that they can list. And we also do this thing called monkey books. So we do it so that the next year of board members can look back onto a document and see, oh, this is exactly what this chair did. This is this is who they contacted. This is which executive board member helped them obtain the funds. Just things like that really helps us to keep track of everything and know how to trace back our steps. And for the CDR, within our spreadsheet, we ask board members, what was the biggest impact of your event? And also, how do you think this event helped UCLA bioengineering, but also students? Did we ask them about the funding sources that they obtained and also attendance, because attendance also is a really big demonstrator of impact. So we make sure that everyone keeps that sorted. And for our technical projects, because they're not necessarily events that they're working on, we ask them to create a Google form that tracks attendance and also tracks how technical project members are feeling about their projects so that we can consolidate that into the chapter development report at the end of the year effectively.
Thank you so much. Now we will open it up to Q&A. So anyone who would like to ask anything, please submit it to the Q&A box. We did have someone ask, what is a monkey book?
Yeah, sorry, I should have explained that a lot better. So a monkey book, I think we call it a monkey book because you write everything out, so it's so easy that a monkey can do it. But it basically just is kind of an instruction guide on how to run an event. So for example, if we had an industry info session come in, the monkey book would outline everything from the beginning of like the ideation of the event to the end. So it would be, oh, make sure you email so and so from this company, and they can reach out to HR or they can reach out to other scientists within the company who can come in for an event. It'll teach you how, it'll say, oh, make sure you book this room and contact this person to book this room. And if you want funding for pizza, make sure you contact this executive board member. So it outlines everything in great detail so that members in the future can look back on it and see exactly what they need to do in order to get an event up and running and successful.
Thank you so much. And it actually looks like we don't really have any questions coming in. So we'll kind of move on to our closing thoughts, unless any do kind of come through from those closing thoughts. So Samantha, I want to ask you, what is one piece of advice that you would give to student chapters that are aiming to improve their impact or hoping to be recognized in the future?
Definitely, just as Audrey and Alyssa have mentioned, reach out to people. Like these connections can bring you a really long way. It's definitely brought us closer to schools in the Riverside Unified for us at least. And then just document everything, like take pictures, because we, as a student org, also lack that sometimes, where we are so invested in the event and we're all like, we all want to do hands on deck, where we forget to take a picture. So definitely take more pictures for your CDR. Don't, but we've gotten better at it in the past 2 years, where we have a designated person at the event. If our marketing team can't be there, then we have a designated backup plan for who's going to take pictures at the event. So yeah, take pictures are like memory keepers. So it definitely helps you reflect on like how it went on your event. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Elisa, looking back, what would you say was the most valuable lesson your chapter learned throughout the process of developing and executing your initiatives?
Yes, so we had a officer that we as a team had to decide whether they were as dedicated to the position as what they, initially came into being or not. And so I think a really big valuable we ended up having to we all agreed as a team and her as well that, maybe this role was had a lot more responsibilities than she initially thought. And so we as a team and with her as well, we agreed to find someone new. And this pushed us back. So, like I had mentioned, we have a really big event at the end of September called Bio Innovate. And this is where we bring in 8 to 10 biotech companies. It's a mini career fair, but it's just biotech company based. And so again, we start reaching out to these companies early summer, and it was to the point to where we weren't really reaching out to companies until, late July, late early August, and it was really close to the deadline. And so again, the most valuable lesson that we learned is, to be initiative with what your responsibilities as an officer, and if you are in an upper role like a vice president or a president or any other officer position, and you are secondhand seeing this type of like behavior, then to be honest with yourself, because it could lead to like more like future effects that could we did have fewer companies come in than we did last year, and it was because we weren't we decided like late on that we wanted to find someone new for the position. So again, like I think the most valuable lesson that we have learned as a chapter is to be honest with ourselves. Again, we're all students and we all make mistakes. We're all learning. This is a learning curve for everyone, but at the same time we do have again, the monkey books, and we do have required responsibilities. And if you want to if you're withholding, like for example, if you're the president and you're looking over all of the other officers, it's being honest with yourself and just saying, are they holding up to their responsibilities? or is it time to like find someone that is more motivated or more dedicated in this specific role, or do they have other responsibilities that they would rather do, which is fair for either way. Like there's nothing wrong with not wanting to do this position when you wanted to do it at the start. And I think it's a really good thing for someone to recognize for themselves. But yeah, I think that would be our most valuable lesson.
Thank you. We actually had a Q&A question come in while you were answering your question, so I will extend this question to everyone. Can you please share what sort of technical projects you have for your chapters, if any?
We have a technical project. It's called case control and steering from a professor here. And we are designing this car to function for a student here with no arms. And so we have a steering system and a control system, and we're manufacturing and redesigning this car in a way for this student to be able to drive with no he only has residual limbs. And so like we have a foot steering wheel and a control panel that has all the basic functions of a car. And so this project has been going on for over 2 years now, and it has been quite the learning curve, because it's definitely something that's really out of the box. And we have it's open to anyone, even if you don't have any MATLAB or SolidWorks or any type of technical background. We use this as a way to like get ahead in your classes and be able to use this experience outside of class to be able to apply your skills and learn in advance. Or if you already do learn, then it's just a way to have that application.
Thank you so much. And then to wrap up, Audrey, for the chapters working on their reports right now, what final tips do you have for them to make sure their submission stands out?
I think that with most reports, make sure it's really clean and presentable. I think that all of UCLA's past reports have been very aesthetic looking. They're very pleasing to look at, and they're very organized. You can follow the information on the report very easily. You can immediately see like, oh, I know where to find attendance numbers. I know where to find the finances for this kind of event, and I can understand what kind of impact they're making. And I think that the way that chapters can get these awards is just by truly driving home the point that they're making an impact on the students, not only on the students, but also on the external community. I think that UCLA had a lot of impact within our community through our outreach initiatives. So throughout the larger Los Angeles community, but we also had a really big impact on our bioengineering students. And I think we're very strong with our mentorship. So it was really clear to see how our impact was shining through to UCLA. I think that that pretty much covers how people can make their submissions stand out, and just to make sure to remember the work that you put into an event, because it's I do this all the time, but I forget what I even did to make an event come to life. But like being able to remember all the steps that you took, the hurdles you jumped just to make something go really smoothly and successfully is also really important to reflect on with your CDR.
Thank you so much. This concludes our webinar. Thank you for joining us. I'd also like to remind you that the webinar is being recorded for your convenience and will be available to BMES members on the website. You will be notified by email when the archived materials have been posted. To learn more about upcoming BMES activities and events, please visit bmes.org. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of your day.